might get
You don't have to worry about the curtain.
Just the dresser
I think
with fucking Tums
yeah,
and
the
floss
things
with
like,
it.
you need any floss strips or anything? What do you want?
Well, if you need to floss mid podcast.
Yeah, if you get into a real sad story, I have a tissue here for you. Something like that.
Yeah, that would be good actually.
There you go, yeah.
Damn, maybe a real desk with like real
with
like, you know, drawers and shit, and then pull out little gifts.
It would be pretty funny, yeah. You have like props lined up for somebody.
Yeah. All right, Marty. So, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Martier, thanks for coming out, dude.
What about camera?
We can look up at the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer just look at me.
There you go.
We're
I'll
having
do
a
it.
conversation.
I'm a fan.
That's all good. But thanks for coming out. What are we talking?
Thanks for having me.
What are we talking about?
I'm pumped. I think we're doing anxiety, right?
And hangovers, apparently.
Anxiety. Oh yeah, we did talk about it last night, which is perfect because my memory is a little faded.
Because I am hungover.
I'm a pro. Okay, I'm a professional. I was like, if we're gonna be talking about hangovers, I should come with a hangover.
Damn.
So I came prepared.
I didn't even think about
yes,
that, dude.
I did. Don't worry. That's what the brains of the operation today. I'm leading it.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going to come with a hangover, fully prepared. As much anxiety as possible. I crushed a cold brew before coming, so...
Yeah, I got a fight tonight. I'm pretty anxious about that.
Damn, I've been trying not to even think about the fight, dude. One thing at a time. I'm like, I gotta kill it on Steve's podcast.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna worry. Then I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'll worry about the fight.
Okay.
I gotta.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
I'm nervous about the fight too.
Yeah. We're not there yet. We're just being the podcast for now. Yeah. So are we? Is it focusing more on anxiety and hangovers, like adding to that?
I think we can go with both of it because I think they both play a part. Obviously, like I think that the reason why a lot of people drink is to help kind of suppress that anxiety of like social situations and it's like everyday life. You're like, all right. Let's have a couple drinks, calm down.
Definitely.
Then you have a couple more, and then all that anxiety that you're basically displacing has to come back up.
Oh,
so
so
that's
it's like the next morning.
See, that's the biggest thing for me, hangover wise. It isn't like headaches or stomach aches or things like that. It's just the crippling anxiety. It's just the word. It's like, what did I say something dumb last night? Did I piss somebody off? And also, like, when I drink, I don't really remember too many. Like, once I'm feeling it and having a good time, it's like, all right, then I can really just let loose and do whatever. But then I don't really remember too much. I don't retain anything. So it's a lot of, like, having to ask people, it's like, oh, was I fucked up last night? Like, even last night we were hanging out. Yeah. And, like, I remember being at Fergie. Like, I had the show, and then I went to Fergie's after. And then I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, was I too loud? Was I, like, well, like, I didn't even do a set there. I just came to hang out. But I was like, was I being boisterous and, like, fucking up other comic stuff?
Well, it's funny. So I was talking about this with somebody. It's like, he came straight from a podcast. And he's like, damn, I thought I bombed that podcast. I'm like, you could bomb a podcast? He's like, bro, you could bomb anything. Yeah. You could bomb life. Yeah. You could bomb a conversation.
The worst is bombing the hang after.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You can bomb a hang, bro.
The thing that I always do is, like, whenever I'm hanging out with comics, and I fucking love hanging out with comics. Like, it's always the shit, but the worst is when you try to like riff or do a joke or something and it doesn't work amongst comics. Oh yeah, it's just silence. Oh, my cop out is always all right, I'll work on that one. Yeah. I'll work on that. Oh, it's so lame.
No, dude. Especially when you're new, dude. Like I must have been like 3 or 4 months in, and I was at Raven, and we were all standing in a circle, and I'm the new guy or whatever. Yeah. And like James comes out and he looks like he's hungover or whatever, and they all start like riffing that he looks like a drunk dad or something like that. And I throw something out there about like a fucking glow stick. I don't know. I was thinking he was like the type of drunk dad that went out. They were doing a whole. Anyways, dude, I was like a completely.
You're thinking like fun drunk dad.
I was thinking fun drunk dad, but I like said something, and like Courtney was like, yo, why would you say that? Oh. Dude, he like said, it was like real tense. He's like, why would you say that?
That would lay me up.
But he's like, why was that funny? And I'm like, what? I just thought.
Break it down for me.
I'm like, you just start sweating, dude. And you're like, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that like you'll remember in the shower 3 weeks later and just be like, what the no.
Yeah. No, I remember that for the entire. What do you mean forget it and remember it later? I was thinking about it the entire time.
Like, it's still in my head.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But the biggest thing though is like even if you bomb, just being able to come back. I think people have respect for that, like you bomb, mics, conversations, hanging out, whatever. Yeah. The fact that as long as you, that's what I always, at least I tell myself, is like I come back.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's going to be weird to say, but it's like, that's a part of life, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of getting back.
Nobody bats 100, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you got to remember, you're going to think about it way more than anybody else is going to think about it. It's like, yeah, you can fuck up. People say weird shit all the time. Usually it's like, all right, well, they said something weird, you know, and kind of move on from that, you know, as long as they're still good vibes.
That's what I always try to remind myself, is like, nobody cares but me, you know, I'm stressed out about if I was too loud last night, you know, it's a mic, right? There's gonna be more mic, like next week there's gonna be a mic, no one's gonna remember that mic, you know, like.
Well, that's the other thing too that helped me a lot, is like realizing how long life actually is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like when I bomb at a mic, or like, again, like hanging out with people or something like that, it's like I'm going to see them every day for indefinitely. Yeah. You know, of course, we're all going to stop at some point, right?
Yeah.
But for right now, it's indefinite how long we're going to be going out.
In a year or a month or a week, no one's going to remember.
Exactly. Well, and so, yeah, like, let's get into, like, your background with it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So did you always, like... I feel like, you know, mental issues didn't even become prevalent for me until, like, puberty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been, like a worry wart, I guess, is that, like, ever since I was a kid, always worried about every little thing. But I never, like, thought it was anxiety until I was, like, 19, and I had a buddy that was like, yo, you know you have anxiety, right? And I was like, what?
Damn.
Like, I never even thought about that. He
pointed it out to you?
Yeah. I just, like,
That's crazy.
I just, like, was always a worrier. And, I think it, like, comes from, like, my dad's side of the family, like all of them are warriors and stuff.
Damn, bro. So, in a way, it sounds like you're saying warrior.
Warrior? Yeah.
He's like, dude, we were the fucking warriors.
Warrior,
we were fucking,
dude, I got that dog in me. Yeah. No.
The dog that's afraid of most other dogs.
Yeah, I got that broken dog in me that's scared of lightning.
Yeah. He whimpers and fucking a knock on the door.
Yeah, you can't leave him alone. He'll tear up your house. No, yeah, worrier.
Yeah, no, it should be. But you come from a long line of warriors?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But mostly, like, on my dad's side, I'd say. But, yeah, they're all, like, people that are just kind of crazy in their head a little bit. Yeah. And I'm definitely, like, a bit of that, like, in my head sort of thing. But I worry about everything, you know? And then when I'm not worrying, I'm worried that I'm not worrying about something, you know?
Yeah, so, yeah, that's a bad man.
Yeah,
that's a bad loop.
Like, yeah, then you're just like, I should be worrying about something, you know? I should be on my toes about it. But, like, honestly, like, stand-up's kind of helped a lot.
Really?
Just by... I would say it's just like, because, like, you know, it's such, like, a big hurdle. Like, once you finally start, like, it's just so scary. And then once you start doing it, you're like, all right, I can do this. You know, and then you look at other things.
Well, did you get any, so that was when you're 19, when your friend, like, pointed that out. Did you get any, like, did you try to, like, seek any help or, like, figure it out on your own at all?
Well, at that point, I was, like, I lost a bunch of weight. I wasn't even, like, eating or sleeping. I was, like, really worried. Wow. Yeah, like, I was, like, it got, like, real bad. And then I, like, lost a ton of weight. And, like, basically, my friend was like, yo, you know, my girlfriend has anxiety. I think that's what you have. I'm like, what? Anxiety? That's a girl thing. But I was like, yeah, okay. And then I went home. And
Yo, guys, is it gay to be scared sometimes?
Yeah. You guys...
Is it scared to worry about looking good sometimes?
Yo, when you guys get sweaty before a party, is that gay?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
But no, I was just, like, kind of losing my head a little bit. I was just so nervous and anxious to the point where, and when I get, like, nervous, like, some people get nervous and they, like, they eat, you know, or they can do other things. I just shut down. Like, I can't eat or anything, so, like,
I was like, watch TV, or we just sit there?
I nap a lot, do a lot of, like, naps and stuff like that, and then, like, obviously at the same time, I was, like, kind of partying pretty hard, so I was, like, doing other shit, too, but, like, yeah, it's, and, like, honestly, though, like, taking walks, like, is a great thing for anxiety. Trying to do the deep breathing, as lame as it is and stuff, that shit kind of works. And then, like, but taking walks and trying to get your head out, get out of your own head is the best thing.
Oh, dude, it's like, it's immense. Because like, my background with anxiety is, like, it's probably pretty similar. Like, I didn't know I had it all throughout high school, but I for sure did.
Yeah.
It definitely started, but again, for me, it was, like, puberty, and I started getting, like, acne, and I was like, oh, I can't let anybody just ever see me ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so then, like, after that, you got to work through high school or whatever, and kind of go to the dermatologist, you clear it up a little bit, and kind of like feel a little confident.
No, like as a kid, I was always like a very outgoing person. I've always tried to be like a very funny person. Like I think that's definitely the crutch I use to make people like me and like get ingratiated with people, and so that's always worked. I've always loved being like the funny guy.
Right.
But then as you get older, it's like you start
especially
getting
in college.
a little more anxious about
was that
stuff.
year like were you 19 when you were a freshman when you figured that out?
I was a sophomore at that time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I was always an anxious person, like in college, but like with college and everything, it's like all my buddies that I was friends with, everyone was kind of partying pretty hard, and there was just shit that was happening and stuff. And, like my one buddy died, and then like it was like, so there's kind of like a lot of stuff going on and like shit like that, and yeah, it just I think like the weight of all that stuff like kind of made me more anxious to the point, and also
built
like,
up.
Yeah, and just
really built it up.
Yeah, and like, I remember I had like a bad acid trip that was like pretty. Yeah.
Dude, that's I think really where it sends you over the edge.
That was one that like really kind of.
When you're in college with these people that you barely know, you know what I mean?
Well, we were at the time we were living on the top floor of this building. It was like the 9th floor.
And you jumped out of it off of acid.
No, the guy that lived in apparently the guy that lived in the building like 2 years before us, one of them jumped out and like killed himself.
Jeez.
So we were doing acid, and it was like winter time, so it was like, and it was in Cleveland, it was like super cold.
Yeah.
And we were up there in the 9th floor, and for some reason I was starting to like bug out a little bit, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go into my room and just try to chill. And then I was in the room, and I remember that this is the room that the guy killed himself in, and so like I had my hand on my bedpost.
Terrible thing to remember at that exact moment.
I had my hand on my bedpost, and I convinced myself that if I were to let go of the bedpost, my body would be sucked out of the window and I would fall. So for like 2 hours, which on acid time is a lifetime, I literally couldn't remove my hand from the bedpost, and I was just like thinking about like. And obviously, like I said, like my friend had died earlier, and so like there was kind of a little bit of death in the air already, and then she's just like thinking about that and mortality and all this sort of stuff, and it's like really tripped me out, not in a great way.
Well, so and I want to come back to this because this is kind of later in my experience with anxiety, but at some point there was a period where I was like. I got high and I was just having like almost a panic attack. Yeah. Just by myself in my own house. And I was like, yo, what? Like, I'm here. Like, I'm by myself in my house. There's no reason for me to be freaking the fuck out right now. And so what I did was I started, like, tracing it back. It's like, all right, well, I'm nervous about this because of this, or I'm not doing this because of this. And a lot of the times, I think a lot of people, a big source of anxiety is the fear of death.
Yes.
It's like the fear of dying.
Because you think about it, we're the only animals, allegedly, like, I don't know how animals think, but, like, we're, like, the only animals, right, that are aware of our own mortality. Yeah. So that's like a large burden that we have. Like, have you ever read the Don DeLillo book, White Noise?
I have not, actually.
Oh, it's a great book. But essentially, it's like, the main protagonist is obsessed with the idea of death and everything. And same with his wife and stuff. And so they're actually making a movie with, the guy, married Greta Gerwig. I forget his name, but, I should know his name. Noah Baumbach. He's making a movie right now about it. But great book, very funny, but it is like a kind of a study on these characters that are obsessed with their own mortality and what they do to escape it. Yeah. So. And I mean, what do they learn from that? Is it like about the anxiety of knowing that? No, it's kind of about like just, so there's like this like medication that the wife starts taking to like essentially help her not think about mortality, and then the guy that's supplying her with the medication she's also having an affair with, and so it's I don't want to. It gets a little complicated. It is, but it's super funny, and there's also like this nuclear fallout that happens in like the thing, so it makes everybody think that they're dying and stuff. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's a good book. I haven't read it in a little bit, but it's a good one to go back to. For sure. Yeah, I usually just read books that induce anxiety. You know what I mean? Any Kafka books, you know? Yeah. But no, it was good what you were saying about mortality. Experiencing anxiety, because one thing I want to say with anxiety is, as much as I hate it and it is like terrible, it definitely helps me to get shit done. Wow. To do things. You know, like when you're saying you get stoned, and then you're like, all right, what is it that's making me anxious, right? What is it? It forces you to kind of look at this and sort of like process your own shit, right? You're like, all right, I maybe didn't even know that I was anxious about these things. Like, subconsciously, I was anxious about it. But now that I'm realizing it, let me make a game plan. Let me put pen to paper and be like, all right, maybe I feel like I'm not achieving what I could be doing, and then you like, you know, start making to-do lists and stuff like that. So like, while it sucks and stuff, at least it kind of uncovers some of the things that you didn't even know you were worried about.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of, I guess to bring it back, right? So first time I had a bad acid trip freshman year as well. And that year, it was my freshman year. I didn't have a lot of friends, you know what I mean? And I was just like smoking weed pretty much every night, just chilling and watching TV. Yeah. And I would start like having these like heart palpitations because I was just like, what the fuck like is happening? And that's what I wanted to also bring up, because you're talking about like breathing and like getting out of your head definitely does help. So I would go on a walk out to an area where I would smoke, you know what I mean? But I'd be out of my room at least. For sure. But also, you know, I did start doing like, one time I just looked up like hypnosis or meditation exercise on YouTube or something. And this guy just puts out like 4-hour videos of him just talking to you like very relaxed, like with a very relaxing, deep British voice too. Oh my god, it's beautiful. But no, but he like calms you down. He's like, just like, I breathe like this and like. And
now you have a British kink.
Yeah, now I have a British kink. It's true.
I can't get off unless I have the. You invite a girl over, like, babe, if you don't mind, I gotta throw on this 4-hour video. It's not gonna happen for me unless we're listening.
Seriously,
to this hypnosis.
That's just. Can you turn into a deep British man? Michael Seeley is his name.
Yeah, do you mind doing the Seeley voice?
The Seeley voice.
I'm not doing the Seeley voice.
Not again. What, dude, if you found somebody that did it really well, though.
And you think it would work?
I think it would work. No, but seriously, like, so I did kind of get into meditation through that. But like you said, it's like really just like anything to kind of distract your brain from just being like, what the fuck, you know?
No, for sure. I got into meditation. I tried everything. I read that Dale Carnegie book, like How to Stop Worrying. I tried so much stuff. Basically, like when I was at my lowest with anxiety, I couldn't eat. And like, so I stopped eating altogether. And after like, when I came back to Cleveland, my family, like, because I was like living in Cleveland full time. So I came home to visit for like the holidays. Yeah. And I was so skinny, they basically took me right to a doctor. Wow. And I was at the doctor's office, and I was clearly, the whole thing was around anxiety, but the doctor, who's also just an idiot, was like, had no idea what was wrong. He's like, well, whenever we see sudden weight loss, the first thing we think about is AIDS. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you tell me this? Right. So I had to take like an HIV test. They did like a full blood thing. And like, all right, we'll get the results in 3 days. Yeah, you got tested for AIDS? Yeah, I already have enough shit. So I know, dude. I already knew anxiety was a gay disease, and that was it. Yeah. I'm getting HIV test, which also, to a person that is so anxious they can't eat or sleep, telling them that they might have HIV is
not gonna help.
Just the worst. It's actually like one of the worst. I'd rather cancer, you know? Like, I saw the movie Rent way too young. I saw what HIV does. I've always been terrified of it. Yeah. But, so I was just like...
This doctor's an idiot.
Yeah, the doctor's an idiot. And then I was like trying to tell him, like, no, it was anxiety and partying. Like, it's just, you know, I had to get my head together. So I, like, luckily, it was like 3 weeks I was at my parents' place, and... didn't eat solid food the whole time. I had to like I was like on a milkshake diet. I had to do these like protein, it was like peanut butter, banana milkshakes, and I drank 4 of them a day.
Kind of slept on, bro. It's not a solid food, but those things are so good.
It was great. It was literally like, while I'd be there with like my family, they'd be eating dinner and stuff, and I would have a milkshake. That I couldn't put solid food down. If I put it down, it would just come right back up. Wow. Yeah, so I had to basically start putting that to like get my weight, because at my lowest I was 6 foot and 109 pounds. Ooh. Yeah. Man. Very skinny. Yeah. And then once I started with the milkshakes, I immediately started putting weight back on.
Well, that's good.
And then I think by the time I went back to Cleveland, I was about like $125 or so.
Okay. Yeah. So you're getting back up there. So I mean, at that point, that was probably a big like, I went to the doctor for this shit, you know what I mean?
That was the first time I also went to therapy. Like, I'd never been to therapy.
They did put you in therapy.
They put me into therapy. Like, they were like emergency session, started meeting with therapists, and like, I go in and out of therapy. Like, I'm not doing it now.
When you need it, you know what I mean?
It's like, I'll go back into it and stuff, but like... Yeah. Like, I do think therapy is a good thing. I think that I've just never really had much success with it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much that is dependent on, like, with therapy, there's, like, it's the person, like, if they're, like, inclined in, you know, if they know what, your specific problem is, if they're inclined in that, and, like, kind of, because some therapists are just better at, like, relationship problems. Some therapists are better at anxiety. Exactly. You know, there's, like, a lot of different
things. The thing is, too, I'm so in my head, even when talking to a therapist, I'm not good at opening up about because then I'm like, they're gonna judge me. Yeah. You know, like I don't want to tell them. So I found myself lying to therapists or just well, not really lying, but like not really being. They're like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm all good." Wow. And then I have to pay them $80 for that session where I'm just like, everything's good when it's not. It's not. Yeah. And then ironically, I'm here talking into a microphone. I'm like, I don't really open up about stuff. I don't like to talk about myself.
Well, it's easier sometimes to talk with friends, but sometimes it's easier to talk with strangers.
Honestly, it's easier to just make a joke out of everything. You know, and you're like, that's I think another thing. It's like you can hide so much stuff behind jokes. You know, people like the funny guy.
Yeah, and that's where you like that kind of relieves the anxiety a little bit. It is because people are like, well, that was
a joke about it. Yeah, like where you say something that's a little too heavy. It's like make a joke. That's not true. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. No. It's but you know, kind of another thing that helped me a lot. Like when I was in the throes of it, like right after COVID, dude. Like after COVID hit, like. I literally started running in the morning. I don't like run far, right? Yeah. But it's almost like walking a dog in the morning. You know what I mean? Like getting out of the house just for a little bit. Oh, for sure. You know, get a little sunshine or something on you in the morning.
Well, my big thing, I love going to the gym, and like I'm not like a gym bro. Like I always like kind of like was like I'm not gonna go to the gym, but honestly, and I do very light workouts, like 45 minutes of cardio. Yeah. But I love just having my shirt drenched in sweat, I think about like literally like sweating out demons, you know? Really? Just getting your mind off shit. Especially, oh my God, like if I'm doing a show or even a mic that I'm nervous about, I love going to the gym beforehand. Yeah. If I can get a nap and then gym before a show or something, then I feel good. I feel like it's a great way to reset your brain a little bit. Yeah. And also like I like to like listen back to my sets before I go to the gym or like kind of like review some of my notes, go to the gym, and then that's when I really think of the new tags or new ways to do jokes is when it's kind of in the back of your head. Yeah. And then you're just sweating, not really thinking about anything. And it's like, oh, wait, actually I could do this. Or I can make this one transition to this one better if I, you know. So, like, small things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so this is what I want to ask. Like, so remember, I kind of traced my anxiety back a lot, right? And it was like, at some point, I literally started, like, just opened up a notes app and started, like, texting myself. I was like, well, I need to just, like, talk myself through it. You know what I mean? And at some point, it was, like, the mortality thing, but it was, like, also the fact that I felt like I wasn't being productive enough or, like, I wasn't doing enough I was just sitting around getting high, and that's one of the reasons why I was anxious. Yeah. So I'm curious, did you trace it back anymore for yourself and, like, what the root of your anxieties were from?
Yeah, I think a lot of mine had to do a little bit with that potential thing. But that's why I said I think doing stand-up helped, because like I said, I always wanted or strove to be like that funny guy. That's where I got attention, how I made people like me.
And you always wanted to
do that. Ever since I was a kid, always. So like I kind of knew in my head I always wanted to try stand up. Yeah. And I'm a year in now, and so I started doing it when I was like 27, 28, which was a long time. Like I wish I started earlier, but like I kind of knew I always wanted to do that, and I never did it. I think that caused a lot of anxiety, the idea that there were things that I wanted to do that I wasn't doing. Right. And I actively kind of like hid from that with, you know, just drinking and partying and stuff like that, and just kind of like I was just unhappy. So honestly, doing stand-up is like, even if like just going to mics and meeting other people that like stand-up and stuff like that, like I don't want to be famous or any of that kind of shit. I just want to write jokes that make other comics laugh, people that I respect laugh. I like that. So honestly, that's helped a lot. Just and also actually, like when you
following through with those thoughts.
When you do something that you're also terrified of, and you do it, not only is that an accomplishment, but it makes other things in life seem more obtainable. Like, I'm not going to get nervous about going to this party when I fucking went up on Helium stage in front of 100 people and did, you know? It's like, why would I get nervous about that? Like, I would get nervous about, so it's like, it puts a lot of other things in perspective. It's made life, you know, a little bit easier. But what, I guess mortality was something, like, when I was really nervous, that was, like, a lot of that was around mortality. Like, when I was 19, well, when I was 18, my buddy who died, he actually, like, killed himself. Yeah. And I remember when that happened, I was like, that idea, because, you know, it's like, when somebody close to you kills yourself, they're like, oh, shit, that can actually happen. Right. That is something that you can do.
Well, like, before then, right, the idea of death is, like, it's easy to just be like, oh, I want to fucking die. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just, like, a concept. It's like, I just wish I was no longer around. Yeah. But when you think about the actual concept of, like, the physical death, you know what I mean? And, like, the mental process that you experience when you die, that shit becomes real when you know somebody like that.
Exactly. You know? So, like, when that happened and, like, my buddy killed himself, And then I was like, shit. Now, then my biggest thing was that I would lose control of my body somehow, and I would end up killing myself, even if I didn't want to. I would like, because like when I would get really anxious, then I would feel like I wasn't in control, and I was like, now my body can just take over and like jump in front of this train. Wow. So like I'd be on train platforms and I see the train coming, and I'd have to like hold on to something because like my body might take over right now and just jump in front of it, even though my brain doesn't want to. Yeah. So yeah, I guess mortality was a big one, but now I see it's a lot more about just like kind of disappointing people, letting people down, feel like I'm just not a good person, stuff like that. Like, so my brain is just always kind of like, you suck, and I'm like, I know.
Well, I know. Well, and I think that like, I mean, there's different stages in life where you have to tackle different topics like that, sure. Right? And when like that was a big thing for me is like when there was like a period last year where I did something to somebody that was close to me where I like hurt them, you know what I mean? Like I did something mean and I did it on purpose, but it was like
their arm.
Yeah, fucking no, I hit their pressure point and died. They probably died. No, just kidding. No, but it was literally like I said something mean to them, and it was like, damn, like if I can do that to somebody that I like love, like this is my friend, you know what I mean? It's like, am I a good person? Like I just let that emotion take over and just said some terrible things. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I know.
And so like a big part of anxiety is like, well, I thought I was a good person before that, you know what I mean? And it's like, if I am a good person, it's like, even good people can do, like, really, really shitty things. So it's like, and I felt like I didn't have any control over it, you know what I mean? So it's like, that anxiety of like, all right, when am I going to be a bad person again? You know what I mean? I don't know when it's going to happen.
When you're going to Hulk out.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, though.
Yeah, no, but I think that it's hard as well because it's not all black and white with good versus bad, right? You know, no one's a good person all the time.
Oh, of course. You know? But again, that's like a realization you have to cope with. As a concept before, like, it's easy to just be like, oh, good people, bad people. Yeah, it's not black and white. But then when you actually experience something, again, where you consider yourself a good person, but you're like, you realize that you did something bad. Yeah. It's like, that causes a lot of...
Well, I'm jealous. I've never considered myself a good person. You got me beat there, man.
I don't know, Marty. You give off good vibes.
Oh, man, I'm fooling all of you. It is funny. I was like... Because, like, some people that I'm, like, closer to, like, once you get to know me a little bit, I think people are like, oh, you're not a chill person. I try to act like I'm chill and cool, and I'm not, dude. I'm very in my head, very neurotic about things. I'll add you to the newsletter every morning where it's like, do you hate me? A lot of people get those texts. Yeah. Or, was I bad last night?
Was I mean? Yeah. But I think, again, there is, like you were saying, that, like, it's... Anxiety sucks, and it can be crippling, right? But there is a point where it's, like, also self-awareness, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, well, at least I'm worried about being a weirdo and not worried about, like, I don't know, other things.
I know exactly what you're saying. Like, it would be worse if you were just not worried about it. Yeah. Right? Like, did I hurt other people? Like, fuck it, who cares? Yeah. You know, that would be toxic.
Right, toxic as fuck. So I mean, like... You're trying to do the right thing, but to an extent that it's harming yourself in the process.
Yes. It's maybe I'm just too good of a guy. You know? I care too much about what other people think.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
I'm a toxic good.
Toxic good, dude. Seriously. No, but yeah, you gotta be able to work through that, and like I think that's a part of like anxiety is accepting that it's a part of you. You know what I mean?
It is something that'll never go away, and. Yeah, the biggest thing is just learning to live with it. Because like I said, I do think anxiety has made me more productive. Like, and a part of the mortality thing, I think I did have like a little bit of a fixation on like mortality and the fact that life is short. Like you said earlier, life is long. I more of the camp that life is short. Yeah. So that kind of pushes me to, if there's something that I want to do, it's like, I got to do it now. You know, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. True. Like, stand-up is like, when we were in COVID, it's like, all right, now or never. Let's fucking do it. Yeah. Right? And, like, other things, too. It's like, all right, if I want to go to Japan, right? All right, let's fucking make this happen. What do I need? I need $5,000. All right, how do I start saving? Can I stop spending money on, like, just to make shit happen, right? Or whatever it is, but...
Yeah, and so when your mind races like that, you could put that energy towards...
There are other people that are like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then they put it off. They're like, I'll get to it eventually. It's like, what the fuck are you putting it off for? Yeah. Do it now. Like, try to... Yeah. Like, or people that are like, oh, I always wanted to try stand-up. Then fucking do it. There's mics every night of the week. Literally. Just go do it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so for me in Ohio, it was hard to, like, I don't know. Yeah, I could try to do it, but it's like now I can move out to Philly. It's easy for me to do it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That's
there are situations
showing my privilege a little bit.
Yeah, well, and so yeah, but there are like there are situations where like I don't think life is long. You know what I mean? I get that it's short, but I'm also only 23, so it seems like I've got so much ahead of me. And it seems like everything behind me took forever. It took so long to get where I am now. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like,
yeah, damn, you're 23. You're young, man.
I know.
Yeah, your life is long for you. My life is nearing the finish line. I could see the thing you run through.
Yeah, the strip. Yeah, but no, I mean, there's also something to be said for anxiety. This is what I have been thinking a lot about recently. Is like, I think. Anxiety is almost like this is what happened with me where I knew I was going to get laid off from my job, and like the whole time I was like,
I thought you said I knew I was going to get laid. I'm like, hell yes.
I was like fuck it. No, but I knew I was going to get laid off, not laid on. But that would be nice.
Riffing.
Yeah.
I just stole Norman's thing. We'll cut that.
Yeah, cut that. Yeah. But it's the same way with like. There's anxiety, and that's worry about the future, but it's almost the same way with depression, right? Where you're, like, worried about the past or, like, kind of stuck in the past, right? So the thing about, like, depression is, like, you can feel it now and remember all these, remember all the memories that make you feel depressed and sad or whatever, but they've already, like, been factored into your personality. And what you're doing right now is just hurting yourself again from something that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you also want to learn from it, too.
You do want to learn from it, but don't you think you learn from it in the moment? You know what I mean? Yeah. Enough to the point where, as long as you reflected on enough and you have tortured yourself enough, there's got to be a point.
Oh, for sure. I think there's definitely a balance. You want to learn from it, because that's what... Oh, fuck. Like, I forget who's said it, but, like, yeah, basically all accomplishments, like, all of it kind of comes out of suffering, you know? Like, all the suffering is what makes you into the person you are.
Yeah.
So it's like... But,
well, yeah, I know. I think I know the quote, too.
Yeah,
it's like
I've botched it very hard.
No, it's okay. But, like, it's a suffering.
Marcel Proust, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to be a pseudo-intellectual anymore. Yeah, we already botched White Noise. So I'm not going to lose White Noise for you. People don't want to hear more of my half-assed things back of book covers that I've read.
Yeah, just the inside of the
I
read the Spark Notes. Yeah. No, but here's the thing with anxiety, though, is like it's worry, right? And it's future looking as opposed to past looking. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, though, I was worried about getting laid off of my job, and my dad is really great for this. He was like, you know, if you're worried about it, you're gonna hit yourself when it actually happens too. Yeah. So you're just like kicking yourself in the teeth beforehand twice. You know, now you're doing it beforehand, and you're gonna do it again, like when it actually happens. So it's like,
yeah, the thing about anxiety is that it's you picturing worst case scenario and prepping for it, but like when it happens, and then you'll just have to deal with it then.
Exactly.
And you'll deal with it in the moment. There's nothing that all that torture is going to do for you.
Yeah, so I think it comes with like controlling the emotions involved in the situation, because again, there is a point where looking forward and preparing for the worst is going to be a good thing for you, right? But when you have the emotion of fear or, you know, like anxiety or something like that, that's controlling the prep for it, then again, it's just you're torturing yourself twice.
Exactly. I see that.
Yeah, so it's like getting back into it. It's like you could prepare for it, but have a good time preparing for it. Yeah. Like, well, this is gonna suck, but let's get through it. I'm gonna get shit ready.
Fuck off, have a couple drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Have a couple drinks, but then get hangover anxiety.
Oh,
that's only happened a few times. So does that happen every time for you?
Yeah, it'll happen. You're 23. You're young. That's eventually what hangovers become. It's just crippling anxiety.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. Fun fact for you.
Fun fact is that they all become that?
Well, I don't know. That's just me personally. It used to be more...
I don't know if it's always like that.
It used to be a lot more physical, whereas like you wake up, your head's pounding. Like, but also there was like a time when you're young, getting drunk with friends, you wake up in the morning, you're like, yo, last night was crazy. Remember when this happened? Remember this happened? Then you reach a certain age where it's like, you don't want to be that guy that takes his shirt off in a bar. You know? That guy that's like, you know, like stealing shit from like you don't want to be that person anymore. You grow up a little bit, and so it's like, need to dial it back. But that's another thing I've been working on. I've been trying to moderate more. Obviously, you saw me last night, so I'm not crushing it, but
I mean, you could tell you're just having a good time.
Exactly.
You let me have some of your shepherd's pie. I was
hell
happy
yeah,
about
dude.
that, dude.
That's the thing. Like, it's like when I drink now, I try to just maintain a good attitude and have a good time. You know, it's not like I don't want to be like a mean, nasty drunk or anything like that. Like I've definitely had phases in my life when I was doing that, but I think a lot of that came from just kind of feeling unfulfilled with where I was in life and knowing there was more I wanted to do and I just wasn't doing it. So now, like, I'm happy, like, you know, doing stand up, getting booked on a show here and there, you know, being on your podcast, small things like that. It's like, fuck yeah, dude, like, this is what I wanted to do and now I'm doing it. So I gotta try to be happy about some things, and then you're gonna fuck up every now and then and drink too much and embarrass yourself, but c'est la vie.
Well, I mean, and that's what, again, on Saturday I was having the whole thing, and it was like, I was just like in my house alone and like letting myself, like, these memories kind of affect my mood and like get really like upset or like anxious, and it's just like, I am in Philadelphia, you know, in 2022. We've got technology. I've got AC in here. Hell I can drink as much water as I want to drink. You know, I love water, bro.
Getting hype about water.
I love water so much. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm doing like you said, I'm doing stand-up. I'm meeting new people. I'm doing hobbies, working out, you know, doing the things that, it's like, what do I have really to be upset about? You know what I mean? I've got a decent job, you know? It's like,
fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like, what really, and again, I mean, there's always these potential scenarios. Oh, you lose your job, or you get hurt, or, you know, somebody.
You lose your job, and then hopefully you get another one.
Yeah, right. Again, it's like you can always know yourself well enough that hopefully you'll bounce back. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, why right now am I letting? I'm just having a good time right now until shit hits the fan.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's like, you know, I got all my fingers, toes, arms, legs.
Yeah,
like I can still walk. That's my biggest thing. Like,
I was amputee. I'm sorry, bro. I feel for you.
Yeah, dude. Good way to lose weight, though.
What, being an amputee?
Lose a leg.
Jesus Christ, Marty. Oh my God. It's true though. They weigh a lot. They do weigh a lot.
No, yeah, I'm just saying, you just knock that off, you got your dream weight.
Yeah, dude, Weight Watchers, you skip like 4, you get like the little gold keys and everything.
Oh. It might make working out a little harder though, but maybe make it easier to do pull-ups though.
Oh God.
I killed him with that joke.
Fucking dead,
that one's going to the notebook.
All right, man. Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to cover about? Like,
no, I'm all chilling. You got any questions for me? Anything like that?
I mean, dude, I think, like I said, I mean, it's really like we both. Do you see? This is a question for you.
There you go.
Do you see yourself ever being fully anxiety free?
No.
Never ever.
No. Well, yeah, I guess if I take a Xanax.
Or start drinking.
Yeah. Oh.
But you don't think you'll ever eradicate it, dude?
Oh, no. It's definitely going to be there for... Like I said, I've had it my whole life. And I just never had a name for it until I was 19. And then, like... And then even when I go to, like... Whenever I go into therapy and I have to do, like, the intake session again, I just kind of start explaining it to... You see their hair below back. Like, oh, fuck, you're anxious. I'm like, yeah, I know. yeah. They say my first rodeo. Like, you just start opening up a little bit to people. Like, oh, okay. You take medication, right?
But like coping with it is different. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, do you feel yourself at least getting comfortable?
Honestly, with it like, if I could control, if I had a better grasp on drinking or didn't drink, because drinking causes a lot of the anxiety. It's like there's an old Simpsons joke where it's like beer, the cause and solution to all of my problems.
Yeah,
right? It's like literally, if I could kind of control it a little bit, because the beauty about drinking is that it takes away your anxiety for a little bit. It gives you like a reprieve. But then you do the things that your anxiety tells you not to do. Like you talk too loud, right? You say things that might hurt people. You make jokes that you typically wouldn't make, you know? Mm-hmm. You talk loud in the back of comedy shows and have people you respect have to shush you, you know? Like little things that are just like, oh, why the fuck did I do that? Why did I do that? Yeah. So if I could control that a little bit and just be a good drunk, then maybe, or if maybe I just quit drinking altogether. Just don't drink, maybe do that as well. That's another thing. Easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so like maybe like there are definitely things I could do to be better. If I had a better diet, you know, if I didn't stay out till fucking midnight or 1 a.m. every weeknight, I got 7 for work. If I slept more, But
that's part of the lifestyle, you know.
But also, I fucking love just doing comedy. So.
Yeah, so I mean, you get the take and the give, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of give, a little bit of take.
All right, yeah. So I mean, that's just like I think that's the goal for anybody with like mental issues. You know what I mean? Is like, is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
It's there. You just gotta learn how to live with it, because you're never gonna not live with it. You know, it's like almost like being an amputee in a way. You're not gonna get your leg back.
Right.
You know, you gotta figure out how to adapt to living with one leg.
You're comparing.
That's my struggle, folks. It's basically like, Steve, it's like I'm basically a quadriplegic in my brain. That's how it is.
Holy shit, Marty. But yeah, I'm glad that, I don't know, it seems like you, at least now, like I said, have some self-awareness about it. You've got like at least a goal in mind if you want it, like on the path towards controlling.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is learning from it. And it just, every day as you go, you're going to learn more about yourself and learn more about how to live and deal with it and cope. So as long as you're just actively that's my biggest thing too, is I just always want to keep learning. That's the whole point of life, right? You just keep learning. Every day is going to face you with new experiences and stuff. When you stop learning, you kind of stop. I almost said when you stop learning, you stop living, but Jesus Christ, that sounds so cliche. I'd have to punch my own self in the face for that.
Do you have that hanging up in your kitchen?
Yeah, dude.
You look at that every day?
Go home and smack my head against some brick. Yeah.
Your mom would be so proud.
Yeah, it's right next to my live, laugh, love side.
Yeah.
It's like, when you stop learning, you stop living.
Yeah. But it is kind of true. It's part of growing.
Yeah.
If you stop growing, then you just become sediment. And
if you're not going out and trying new shit, like there's that thing. It's like every day you should try to do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Right? If you're not getting nervous about things, then what are you fucking doing? You're just doing the same shit. That's boring.
True.
You know, it's like the people that just go home and watch the same episodes of The Office every day. You do it because you know it, right? That's an anxiety thing. You do it because you know how it's going to end.
It's comfortable.
It makes you feel good. It's easy, but it's like you're not pushing.
You need that sometimes, right?
You do.
You need comfort.
Hey,
sometimes.
man, I'm all for just crushing 12 beers and watching a movie I've seen a million times and not thinking about anything. I love that. But if you're doing that every night, it's not good.
It's a detriment to you.
But yeah, do it on a Friday, Saturday. Fuck it.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, well, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for
share this out here.
Fuck yeah. All right. New studio.
Oh yeah. Instagram, anything like that?
I'm on Instagram. If you know me, follow me.
Josh underscore
Marty MARTI underscore. But yeah, no, nothing to really plug. Coming to JJ Mallon's on Mondays. Coming to the 700 on Wednesdays.
Cool.
Open mics, but yeah.
Nice. Fuck yeah. All right, dude. Cool.
Awesome.